10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi and welcome to Dax Chats for another episode, and today we have alt country superstar. He has come out in 2017. In 2018 he did a lot of touring. He had a great success with a song called Turn Back Jimmy Creek. He's recently come out with a duet with Michaela Jenke called My Crime, and his new track has just been released. It's called Honey. I'm talking about none other than Gareth Leach. And today, Dax Chats with Gareth Leach. Here he is. G'day, buddy. Hey.
Wow. You can introduce me like that every time, man. That's great. Make me sound very important.
You are a legend, because I did actually last night. I don't know if you were actually involved last night somewhere in the audience, but last night there was a celebrity country music whiz episode that was all about alt country.
Was
quite a yes. It was, and it was Lachlan Bryan and his Wilds. Damien, Decaf, and Sean, and the lead singer from the April Family were the celebrities. Yeah, Kylie. They were the celebrities, of course, hosted by Danny Young. And for a moment or two, I was actually beating Lachlan Bryan.
You were?
I couldn't believe I did. Yes, I couldn't believe that DJ Dax knew so much about alt country. And one of the questions was, what was the influences of alt country? And many people got it wrong, where it was actually punk rock that was part of the influences of alt country.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's I would have probably had to go with that, but I guess a lot of people think of that sort of like early emo stuff as being sort of very influential on the I guess the punk sort of singer songwriter thing sort of finding its way into country music, and I guess bands like Leach Era, they're sort of interesting. There you go.
So there you go. I couldn't believe it, but for a brief second, I was on top. I was number one, but then my internet failed, and I ended up. Then my internet failed, and I ended up about 16th place by the end of it. So.
How do those things work? Can you guys be involved? I haven't tuned into one. So people can tune in and play at home, can they?
Yes, they can. Absolutely, it's a brilliant idea, and that's what I do. I in the second. Excuse me. This is the second season now, and the first episode I played on the Zoom call. But every week since then, I've been just an audience member. Watching the feed and playing from home. So, and I couldn't believe that I got to the top. Hey,
go Dad.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Yes, but a lot of the people that are generally there weren't actually there for the alt country episode, so I thought that was very interesting. A lot of the people that are generally up the top for that were not there at all. So there you go.
There you go. Just proving more and more that the alt is the fringe of the country music scene.
Well, but funnily enough, some of it sounds bloody great. Obviously Turn Back Jimmy Creek was a big one for you. That was an awesome success, and it was a brilliant song.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really, that song doing as well as it did kind of really didn't. I didn't expect that at all. It was it was the first song that I released properly, I guess, from that my last album, Death and Taxes. And yeah, the fact that it did well kind of still surprises me, to be honest. It's it was a fun song, and I was just yeah, blown away that people wanted to hear my music, to be honest. So.
Oh, come on! We all like to hear music. That's what it's all about, I love all types of music, but obviously country's where I'm at as an artist as well as a radio DJ. But more recently, before all the proverbial hit the fan, you recorded a track with Michaela Jenke, and we were going to have her on tonight, but unfortunately, due to circumstances, she couldn't be with us. So we respect her privacy with that. But tell us all about My Crime.
Yeah, well, look, My Crime kind of happened. It's sort of been. It was, I guess, it was in its infancy, sort of during Tamworth Festival a couple of years back, and it was the first time that I bumped into Michaela. And I went and saw her play, and I was just been a bit of a fan since I heard of her, so I had to go and see her play. And we just sort of became friends from there, and her her sound kind of just really gelled with what I was envisioning for this song. So when the song was done, I knew it needed to be a duet because I wanted to have this sort of toing and froing, this back and forth, rather than it being just a pessimistic internal dialogue. You know what I mean? So I got on the blower to her, and we organised her to come out for a couple gigs last year in Victoria, and during that time, I just finished recording the album, and luckily I was able to get her to come over, and we laid down her vocal then, and it sort of just worked out that our voices sounded good together. You never really know, and and it's always kind of daunting asking somebody to collaborate with you on something as well. So luckily she said yes, and luckily it worked, and I think we were just both really, really lucky that that people resonated with it and seemed to enjoy the song, because like a lot of my songs, especially the songs on my new album, they do come from a pretty dark place, and a lot of the subject matters and themes aren't guys sitting on the tray of their ute thinking about how good looking their girlfriend is while sipping on a Bud Light. A lot of my songs kind of tackle my demons and my I guess the darker things that I try to deal with in my life, and that's sort of always been the way that I've sort of tackled songwriting to, I've always sort of had this idea of, if it doesn't mean anything, then what's the point, sort of thing. So we were just really lucky that people, stuck around and listened to it, I think, and resonated with the lyrics and resonated with the theme, and I think it was just probably just due to the chemistry of her being such a great singer and being so sensitive to my sound and my tone and making it work as a duet, because it came up better than I think both of us could have imagined.
Now, also you managed to get the video clip for My Crime done just before the initial lockdown of Australia.
Very lucky, yeah.
How was that? Yeah, very lucky. Very lucky.
Well, it just so happened that I was looking at releasing a single, and I was talking to Andrew Swift, and we were about to play a festival at the Mornington Country Music Festival in March, and he had been over to Adelaide and done a few shows, and had Michaela jump up to do his duet, his Catherine Britt duet, Fire and Ice, and they kind of gelled really, really well, and me and Andrew, just before Tamworth, I think it was, we caught up for a bit of a lawn bowling sesh, and we were having a chat about this festival that we were playing, this new festival and stuff. And he's like, well, I want to get I'm thinking about getting Michaela over to do backing vocals for the gig, for the set, because he tends to, when he does a 4-band gig, have a female backing vocalist. Sometimes Granazilla, you know, sometimes other people, but yeah, he got her over, and I was like, well, this is perfect. So, you know, luckily that weekend we played a gig and it was awesome. I got her up to do My Crime. She joined Andrew on stage for his set, and then the next day we went into a studio in Fitzroy and shot the video. So, and I think within a couple of weeks we were in lockdown. So the timing was bloody spot on.
Correct. Now, obviously, after that, and it was very successful. Again, very good video clip. Just black and white, and which gave it an intense feeling about it as well. So I really enjoyed the film clip.
No, thank you. Yeah, my wife produced that. She's my wife's my video editor. She does all my videos. Actually, she's done all of my videos. Jade. She's a bit of a legend. So you know, I would be remiss not to bring her up. You know.
There you go. That is true. So obviously, moving on from that, you've released the album, but before you release the album, you released a new single called Honey. Tell me about Honey.
Yeah, Honey's my current single. It's the last one to drop before the album comes out in September. Really excited about this one. This one's been going great guns. It came out, you know, topping charts, and it's been getting radio play in places that I didn't expect, which has been really cool. But you know, for a song that's really about telling everybody who has an opinion of you to go jog on, it seems to be going really well. You know, the songs really sort of got that really, I guess, outlaw sort of very sort of harsher sort of sound to it, whereas I guess My Crime was trying to be a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more legato, sort of like smooth, blah blah blah. But yeah, no, this one's got a little bit more of that bouncy outlaw sort of vibe. You know, I'm right into that style. I've always been into that style of music, and you know, the Outlaws, you know, were good at telling people to go jog on, and this one is just about, you know. This song in particular is about, you know, I guess modern preconceptions of what you need to achieve in your life to be successful. And, you know, the idea of honey being all the sweet and gooey stuff that we take for granted, you know, and not being bogged down and not feeling those social anxiety, those external pressures that we get, you know, own a house, have this many kids, do all these things that are completely unreachable for a lot of us because of just the modern world and how it is. And we were all brought up to believe that, you know, this is the way it's going to be. So we place all these pressures on ourselves, and we need to move it aside and you know, and focus on the positives, or else we're, you know, in a post-COVID world, we're all going to be buggered. but no, so it's really about that, and you know, it's got a really sort of I think it's got a really positive message about just wanting to just, you know, live your life without, you know, having to worry about what other people think of you. It's, you know, such a modern problem, but it's so important to everybody's mental health.
Exactly. I had something happen just recently where somebody tried, without mentioning my name, of course, tried to attack me on social media. And I thought that was quite interesting because we all have our own race. We all have our own things that we aspire to do. And I feel that this person has the ability to do what they want to do, and I have the ability to do what I want to do without it encroaching on each other's situations. So, yeah, I get the message, because I think, you know, we've got to stop thinking about what other people want us to be and what they expect us to be, and just live our own. And especially during this time right now, you know, we've got to rise above what we're going through right now. We've got to push past those boundaries and rise up above it all.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. We need to We need to find. I think that there's going to be really interesting to see what happens post all this. I think that a lot of us are starting to find out what's important to us, what's really really important to us. I went for a run today. You know what I mean? And that was like I'm not a runner, but I loved it. And I've got a garden and I love it. And I get to spend time with my family and I love it. And I'm not bogged down, and I'm trying not to be bogged down with all these things that, really don't matter. I don't believe that there's an encore after this. This is it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to live my life, and I want to try and be happy. Try, I guess, has been the operative word in that. But, anything that opens up a dialogue and makes you think about, I guess, how to live life better, that can't be a bad thing.
That's so true. Now, during the course of this, you sort of started easing restrictions. Things started looking better for Victoria, and during that time, you did sort of social distanced video for your new track, Honey. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, I went and did my first gig in months, it seems. I bust out in front of my local barber shop. That was really fun. And, I sort of just walked the streets of the northern suburbs with signs about how much money musicians make from streaming platforms, and just sort of played a few songs on street corners and got my fiddle player Ewan to come and stand socially distanced away. But yeah, we had a bit of fun with it, and it was fun to be out there doing something creative. I think, we've all missed it so much, and even at the front of that video clip aside, which was all cool, and it went really really well and all that sort of stuff. One of the coolest things about that experience of making that clip was seeing all the people in the cafes around sitting and watching, and that wouldn't have normally happened. I can tell you right now, music has become, as quite a disposable commodity. You know what I mean? One that we take for granted so much, especially the live music experience, and with streaming being so important and all that sort of stuff in I guess getting your brand and your music out there to so many people, which I obviously don't want to I don't undervalue its importance and how good it is there, but really the only way musicians these days, unless they're in that up in that top echelon of artists who are making money from record sales, we're making it from gigs, and we're making it from merch sales, and merch sales really come from gigs a lot of the time. So having all this, having at least 6 months before that, the bushfires and all that sort of stuff, it's been a really really hard year for musicians in Australia, especially, I feel. And so just seeing people sitting in the cafes nearby, the customers of the barbershop even coming out and just listening to me play, and enjoying it, tipping, that was really, really cool to see. And it's got me, excited for the future, because I think that, I don't think people are going to take it for granted. I don't think you're going to get that message from people. Well, you might eventually down the track, but I don't think initially for the first little bit after we all sort of come back to whatever normal is going to be, I don't think people are going to pass up opportunities as much as they did. I can count even myself, like when people have asked me to go to gigs and stuff like that, and I've said yeah, and then sent the last minute text message, sorry man, can't make it tonight. Have a good gig, It's so disingenuous, and it's so but it's because we're spoiled. And I think that, something like this, is gonna, I really, really hope that it makes us really appreciate the things that we have and the things that we can have. And look, I'm trying to be really, really optimistic about the future. I think that, we've made a lot of mistakes, and I think that there's really a good opportunity now for a good reset in our thinking, not so much in society. I don't really want to get into that sort of stuff, but I think internally, everyone's monologue is going to change, and I think that it's going to change for the better.
Yeah, for sure. I believe that too. I think people are looking at the positives, even though it is such a bad situation now. It's we are looking at what is important to us and what makes us who we are, and
Yeah.
like my wife's important, my son's important. For me, everything that doesn't matter anymore.
That's
Like
right. That's right.
I actually like looking out the window and looking at the blue sky that we haven't had in so long, because I live in China. It's one of the most polluted countries in the world.
I guess, yeah.
So I like looking out there and seeing the blue sky. I like smelling the rain that I haven't smelt in years. Like
isn't it nuts, man? Like, I mean, it's one of the first things that I noticed when the planes stopped flying and all that sort of stuff, and everything started really calming down during that first lockdown in Melbourne, and it's kind of stayed like that, which has been really nice. One of the first things that I noticed, I mean, I grew up in the country in Echuca, so I guess I always took it for granted until I moved to Melbourne, when I realised that you don't really see the stars that much at night, and being able to walk outside, even in the middle of winter here, where it's not even that clear at night and you're seeing the stars and all that sort of stuff, I think there's, it's going to make a lot of people really think about what's, again, like what you're saying there. It's like, it's about what's important, what's, what makes you feel good. And, I think that appreciating nature is it's something that a lot of people have taken for granted. And, and I think that, I'm hoping that this internal reset that a lot of people are going through is going to be really, really good for everyone. So you just got to try and be pessimistically optimistic.
I love that. So obviously, unfortunately, you've been locked down again for another 6 weeks. So we're now looking at 6 weeks of total lockdown, and then again it's going to take some time to phase back out of that. So it's looking like gigs are going to be non-existent and now for another 3-4 months before you can even start thinking about what's going to happen with that.
Well, look, everyone in the country music world's all thinking about Tamworth, and I'm hesitant to even go there because I don't know. Again, I guess pessimistically optimistic, but who knows what's going to happen and when it's all going to happen. I mean, I've resigned to the fact that I'm releasing an album in this crazy time, and there was times where I thought about pulling the pin on it, and waiting until this is all done, but you just got to keep going, and I think that it is going to take a long time for us to be able to go to gigs and enjoy the gigs. But again, I'm just really, really hopeful that it just means that in the future we don't take this stuff for granted, and I'm hopeful that when the time does come, I get to get out with my band and do that launch show that we've been wanting to do for this album, because I'm very, very proud of this album, very, very proud of it indeed, and it's got it's really got something to say, and I want to get it out there, and I guess just putting my faith in the internets now, and just hoping that I can reach as many people as I can through social media and networking like that, and hoping that it gets into as many people's ear holes as possible. Like, I mean, that's my biggest ambition always with my music. I don't care about charting. I don't care about any of that stuff. It's all nice, don't get me wrong. It's all stuff that we all dream of as kids, and stuff that we all, set ourselves ridiculously high goals that add to that anxiety and depression later in life, and the reason why we're medicated. But, it's like, for me, I'm in my 30s. I've got a family. I just want to have that creative outlet. I feel that my songs have something to say, and I just want people to hear them. Otherwise, what's the point, So,
that's right.
Yeah. So, look, fingers crossed. It gets into as many people's ear holes as possible, and it resonates, and I guess that's all I can really hope for, man. So, yeah.
So the album is called Trigger, right?
Yeah, it is called Trigger. Yeah.
Now, I did see a post on your social media the other day where it was in a football stadium, and a whole heap of footballers were holding your album. How did that come about?
The magic and wonders of Photoshop.
Correct, I know that. It looked very good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Look, I guess, one of the things that, that COVID has done is given us a lot of time in our hands to master crafts that are, otherwise quite useless. So I've been having a bit of fun photoshopping copies of the album into people's hands. I put in one in Dan Andrews' hands today, which was a lot of fun. But yeah,
there you go.
I'm a lifelong supporter of the Hawthorn Football Club, my friend. I couldn't pass up an opportunity to have people like Jared Roughhead and Luke Hodge holding a copy of my album. Too good.
That was fun. That's good. That was really good. So when does the album come out?
September 4th. September 4th. It's being released via Social Family Records digitally worldwide, and for the first time, I've got an album coming out on the wax on vinyl. So CDs and
vinyl,
yeah. So I'm really, really excited about that. It's always been a bit of a dream of mine as well. So I guess, if I'm not ticking off professional goals, I'm ticking off personal goals here, man. So it's great. It's great.
Awesome.
Really excited to hold that vinyl in my hand and bang the needle down. It's going to be great.
Did you have your guitar with you there?
Yeah, I do. Have you seen my guitar?
Oh, right. I have seen your guitar.
This is my new guitar. I got it at the start of this year.
Oh, it's a new one. Oh,
it
right.
is. This is my new guitar I got at the start of the year from the lovely people at Maton. It was a custom one. It's got the old style headstock.
Yep.
I could talk to you about the physiology of this bad boy, but her name is Lady May. And this is her. She's a beautiful thing, and she's only seen 1 or 2 gigs, so she's still in pristine condition.
Well, I think that Lady May and yourself should actually do the new single for us right now.
Absolutely. Here we go.
Right.
This is All right. This is Honey, guys. I hope you like it. Try my best to be a man and follow those roads that my dad's did what you said, got my degree, but the door still slams in front of me. The walls keep closing in on me. Baby, try my best to get along. Baby, try my best to stay strong, but the race feels so long. Put honey to the money. Selling their souls to the company time, but sitting in a suit ain't a good amount. We're living that life on by the time. Baby, try my best to get along. Baby, I try my best to stay strong, but the race feels so long. Put honey till the money's all gone. Woo! Try my best just to be a man. Now it's time to take a shot and not get looked at. Baby, I try my best to get along. Yeah, baby, I try my best to stay strong for you, yeah. But the race feels so tough. Put honey to the money.
All right, yay!
Hey.
That was cool, buddy. That was cool.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Cheers, mate.
No worries. Well, that has been a wonderful interview. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Gareth. And I really do hope that things start improving in Victoria very soon and you can get back out and get onto those live gigs, man, because you really need it.
Back at you, brother. And, likewise, hope everything eases up over there. And, bloody hell, we can all go out and have a beer, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I can't even fly to Australia right now. There's no flights at all from China to Australia, from any city.
Good. They got my memo. Fantastic. Oh, man, that sucks. I'm sorry, man. That was a bad joke. Yeah.
I love you, brother. I love you. See you later, man.
Take care, dude. Thank you very much for having me. Take care.
Yeah, no worries. That was Gareth Leach, and his brand new song is called Honey from his upcoming album Trigger. You can pre-order the album right now, pre-save all of the stuff. You can download, stream the new single Honey on all the major platforms. And, of course, you can listen to it on the Country Thunder Network, and you can vote for it on the Country Thunder 20. So please jump onto our website, countrythunder.com.au, and get into Gareth Leach right now. Until next time, this is DJ Dax for Dax Chats, proudly supported by Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. See you later.